What's going on, world?
Hey, everybody.
It's your guy, TJ.
And your girl, Dani.
And we're back with another episode of Lovers Quarrel.
Whoop, whoop.
This is episode...
30-something.
Yeah, 36, I think this one is.
Or 37. Something. We're getting up there, though.
Yeah, we missed a week due to Dani living her best life, so...
Okay, sure. It's all on me. That works. I'll take it. I was on vacation.
Way to be accountable. That's what helps people. Accountability is key. That's the key to a great relationship.
I just take it as accountability, and I'll take it as you didn't want to do this thing without me. That you need me. I'm a vital and integral part of this podcast.
I mean, I tried. I didn't try to do it without you. We tried a different method. It didn't work, but it's okay. We've gave us a week off, and now we're back.
Definitely
tried to do this in Cancun, but that didn't work. So
no, but it's all right.
We can give our recap and all that other good jazz. So
we had a good time.
It was definitely good. Too much. It was too long.
Yes, definitely.
It was too long because we already been there. I think if we'd went somewhere else, it'd have been like, oh
yeah, the novelty kind of wore off a little bit, but it was still a really good time to reflect, relate, relax, and spend uninterrupted time with each other, because I will say not all couples can be in confined spaces with each other for extended periods of time, because they get bored, or they don't necessarily get along all the time. So I'm grateful that we don't necessarily have that issue. I
can't speak for other couples, but sure.
Well, in conversation, I've heard it
okay. That helps more.
But yeah, we went to the resort. We were in Cancun, like TJ said, and it was okay. I think that I really really liked the being able to be poolside, the sun, the sand, all that type of good stuff. But the drinks were so weak, y'all. It's not like you can, partake in anything else while you're away. So, alcohol is your go-to. And, I mean, they fill to the brim with ice. And then, you got to be real specific about the liquor that you request, because they will give you rail every time.
But the rail wasn't even strong.
It wasn't.
It was trash drinks. But, it's always good just to get away and...
This is true.
Reboot and stuff like that. Plus, Dani was a joint out there. She had 3 women ready for her. Ready for her. She had there was a plethora of
good
women.
SAT word.
And they were out there. Well, I mean, it was mostly women, but they were from Philly.
Oh my god.
And they were Dani was one of their cousins, because or nieces.
I resembled a relative. That was not them being on it.
So they loved her. Then we went to the club, and Dani was doing the In My Feelings challenge. And these girls was all on her, yeah, come here, girl, you killed it.
That's because it's not hard to look at. You got you really, a
Dani
lot of people
getting bagged.
They were rhythmically challenged.
And then in the Philly crew, one of the girls who wound up kissing a girl was definitely trying to bag Dani at first. So.
Oh my gosh.
Dani was a joint.
You know what? This is a testament to how perspective is reality, because that is not how I perceived any of these interactions. I mean,
that's because you're just so coy and so reserved and shy. Listen, they were trying to bag Dani.
People were being friendly, and I'm friendly.
Okay.
So one woman, yeah, she was kissing, but she was really, really drunk and everything like that. But
okay.
But yeah, no, that. So even the employee that was talking to me about my hair, she wanted me to?
I'm not saying nothing else.
Oh my goodness.
Not saying nothing else.
Well, if that was the case, I am flattered, because men or women alike, if people think you're beautiful, you should be appreciative of it. But TJ was out there he made friends with the second group of people that were there too. You out there making friends.
I'm out of my business. I was living my best life.
Somebody was asking out there. They thought, they were you got any uncles that are single? Because they were this is a handsome, wholesome fellow over here. Were you not?
That did happen, but that has nothing to do with anything.
It has to do with the fact that like somebody was digging you a little bit too. But that's what vacations are, especially like we went to like the adult resort and all that stuff like that. So people be out there trying to like.
You're the one who's being like bashful about it. It is what it is. We're adults. Like,
of course.
You want to try to put this facade like things don't happen, but
I mean they do. I didn't see it necessarily. I wouldn't have thought of it like that. But if it was the case,
you are
then
a little sheltered in your life, just a little bit.
A shelter? How am I sheltered?
You was a stoop kid. Stoop kid can't leave the stoop.
I was not a stoop kid. How was I a stoop? Then you were a courtyard kid. Because you couldn't leave the courtyard.
I could leave the courtyard. We just didn't leave the courtyard because there was no need to.
So what happened? So what would happen if you were seen on the corner?
Yeah, that's different.
So you could be on the block, but not the corner.
Yeah, I could be on the block and go to Booker T. I can do other things.
So I was on the block. I was around. I wasn't.
Stoop kid.
I was not a stoop kid.
It's okay, stoop kid.
I was not a stoop kid.
That's Dani's new name, stoop kid.
Okay, because you were there.
So stoop kid, are you ready to get on with the show?
Sure, courtyard kid.
That's so. Anyway,
you can start first. Going up.
Happy birthday to Angela Bassett.
Oh yes.
And she is my elevator talk because she looks amazing. It's like she posted a picture like in her bathing suit.
I saw it.
When I seen it, I was just like, is this Angela Bassett at 60 or is this Angela Bassett at 20? Like, she's
flawless.
Yeah, like she's
like
wine.
Better with time.
Yeah, she's amazing. So that's gonna be my elevator.
You just like pay homage to Angela.
Yeah. She's a great actress too.
Oh, she's an amazing actress. I don't understand how she hasn't had an Oscar yet, but I mean,
she's black.
Well, yeah, but she should have got it for Tina Turner for What's Love Got to Do with This? Yeah. Yeah. So. But she's amazing and fine as hell.
Yeah. So she made me happy to see her and just to see how amazing she looks. So shout out to Angela.
Well, for me, it's going to be a going down. So first off, before we go any further, this isn't part of my elevator talk, but it occurred to me when TJ brought up Angela Bassett and today being like a special day. On a more somber note, this is also Aretha Franklin did pass away. So our condolences to her family and to all of her fans all over the world because she was the queen of soul.
I didn't know she did as much as she did. So.
Civil rights activist, and she, always spoke her mind. She was a shade queen.
Yeah, I seen that.
And
they had like the little video
with her and Patti LaBelle.
Yeah, when she's walking, Patti tried to touch her. Don't touch me.
Yeah, they didn't always see it for each other.
And then the other joint was when she was talking about Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she was like, she's got
pretty gowns.
She's got beautiful gowns.
Yeah, so
yeah,
shout out to her.
Yeah, she was a legend, and we gotta honor our icons while they're still around because.
You gotta honor your people while they're still around. Not taken away from her, but
yeah,
like it shouldn't be that with her passing. Now it's like all this information is put out there. Like,
yeah. Well, I think that it definitely that is a case. Like we have to be very like cognizant and mindful of like the people, famous, not famous, but in their contributions and recognize them while they're around to receive the recognition. But specifically with her, I put on some of her music for Tatum in the car today. Not to say she knew what it was, but just because it was just like, you know what, I got to make it a point that she's familiar with her body of work because it was extensive and it was popular and it was, you don't get called the Queen of Soul for no reason. So rest in peace to Aretha.
R.I.P.
Now my actual elevator talk when I said I was going down. So again, if you've kind of been on the internets in this last couple of days, this Mercury is definitely in retrograde because
what the hell is Mercury retrograde?
Because people keep talking about that.
Yes.
it's like part of like astrological signs, like, you know, like your sun is in this house and the alignment of the planets and how like it affects your like.
I wish they could see my face.
He's got it's all his face is all chopped and screwed. So basically, when they say Mercury's in retrograde, I guess, and I mean, and y'all can clarify if you know better about it. But basically, it's like when.
Aren't you a science teacher?
I am a science teacher, but this is astrology, not astronomy.
Okay.
Astrology is like the signs of the zodiac and all that stuff like that. So some people don't adhere to that belief.
To the retrograde.
Yes.
Okay.
So saying that like Mercury's in retrograde is saying that like your like shit is off balance. It's like you might find yourself like in more like funk, difficult situations, whatever.
Isn't the Mercury science stuff?
Mercury, yes, is the planet.
Okay. So you should know this stuff.
I do know the name of the planets.
Anyway, go ahead.
It's taking some science and applying it to okay.
Don't like it, but go ahead.
Point I'm trying to say is like people been beefing these last couple days, specifically Nicki Minaj, and you
don't like Nicki Minaj anyway.
But the thing about it is that I used to be a much bigger fan of hers, and you know, over time it was just kind of like, not even say I started to say like, oh, I dislike her work or anything like that, but it's just like, you know, she it just wasn't on my radar like that, and but like I said, you saw that she had her album just drop, and then she went on Funkmaster Flex's show, and I guess the beginning of the inquiry was Safari. It started first, she was going back and forth with DJ Self from Love and Hip Hop, and who's on Power 105, and then when Funk Flex asked about Safari, I think about writing, you know, there's always been this, you know, the long-standing rumor about him writing her rhymes, and she just like went on this tangent about him like not writing her stuff and how she put so much value on women writing their own music, and how he was paying for prostitutes, and he bit the hand that fed him, and blah blah blah, and it just became this huge messy thing. She talked about him getting like hairline surgery, you know, brought poor Tyga into it because he, you know, Tyga was living his best life, and saying all that to say is it just seems like a whole lot. And I'm like, I can't tell if it's just like, is she just bugging out to bug out? Is it because of the album dropping? She wants to generate interest and you know, keep her name in the news. But it just seemed mean. And then also too, like, you know, so of course Safari did like defend himself and go back, but I never got the sense that he was like being venomous when he was going back and forth for her. Like he was defending himself, or he was trying, you know, but it wasn't like trying to be nasty. And she tries to be nasty sometimes, it seems like. And she encourages her barbs in ways that I feel like is not healthy, because it's one thing, you know, you have these stands out here or whatever, but like to retweet people who are saying really venomous or, you know, threatening things about other people who just make any type of critique of you or any type of critique of your work is unhealthy and like unsafe, like, you know. Or if you're gonna do that, then you also need to be able to be like, no, y'all, you need to stop, you need to chill, whatever. So that plus like the whole thing with Safari, and also like him, if I don't know how much truth there is to it, but saying that that like, you know, she cut him and he had to like lie and say that he tried to hurt himself so that way she wouldn't get arrested. Like, that is still domestic violence, and that energy should be kept. That if like, you know what, if Safari was like attacking her, we would be like, get him out of here. So she needs to be held accountable to some degree of that too, if there is truth to that. So yeah, I mean, I just feel like for an album to be coming out, her album to be called Queen, it's just not very like regal
Queen status,
regal behavior at all. And
social media is the devil, so
there's definitely dark side. You have been saying that, and there are some very dark sides to it. So that's my elevator talk, y'all. And, you know, for if there are any barbs that listen, or barb adjacent folks or whatever, we can have a, you know, adult discussion. But if we're not going to, you can bypass that altogether. But that's just my opinion. Anything you want to add?
I have nothing else.
All right. Well, it is now time for the relationship tip of the week. So, the relationship tip.
What tip do you have? Because I have one too.
Okay. Well, my relationship tip of the week, and I'm gonna keep this brief,
That's hard for you to do.
I know, which is why I said it.
Okay.
If you saw the premiere of Insecure with Issa Rae and company, one of like the themes of the episode was about like boundary setting, and I think that like that's a really important relationship tip, which is to set boundaries. Like, even though in these close proximity relationships, so romantic, friendship, or whatever, you give a lot, you might take a lot, you're in a space where things can get blurred, and or you give people a lot of allowances, but there's still nothing wrong with setting boundaries with loved ones or with people you're in a relationship with, because it's okay to say, hey, in this topic or this arena, I don't like this, or this is as far as I'm willing to go, or this is where I draw the line. There's nothing wrong with that, because there are times where we do have to compromise, but there's other times where you need to draw a line.
What boundaries are you trying to set?
What boundaries am I trying to set? I mean, I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head for you and I, but I think that it's like, I just think in general, it's like an important thing. I feel like you and I do have like boundaries for certain things. Like, we know that there are things that like we like or don't like that we respect and don't do or do for that other person. I mean, it could be as simple as like, I don't like, you coming in the bathroom, and this is hypothetical, this is not true, but like if somebody says like, I don't want you to come in the bathroom without knocking, right? That could be a boundary.
Your boundaries.
Why
do I have to knock?
I don't know. I'm just giving a hypothetical one. This is not one that you and I have.
And I'm just giving you
your response to it. So you just want to bulldoze over people's boundaries.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, if you told me I gotta knock before I enter the bathroom, the fuck?
So if this was when we first moved in together, like we had never lived together.
Use the guest bathroom then.
So I have to.
That's a compromise.
No, but that's the thing with boundaries. Like, there's things you should compromise on, and there are things that boundaries that people can set, and then you can respect them.
Why am I knocking?
It was a hypothetical, because maybe it's a
hypothetical,
and you don't know.
All we're doing is conversing on a hypothetical.
Okay, so hypothetically,
it's a negative thing. It's not an issue with me doing it. It's we're talking about the hypothetical.
Okay, so
you gave a hypothetical, and I just gave a response.
Okay, so hypothetically, if a person says, I would like you to knock before you come in the bathroom,
and then I'm gonna ask them why.
Okay, and they hypothetically, maybe they'll say, I grew up in a home where my privacy was always violated. People never knocked. I was barged in on by relatives, this and the other. So it's.
Do we only have one bathroom
in the house?
Yeah.
Yes. Hypothetically.
I mean, I guess I can compromise.
You can respect the boundary. It might change. Boundaries do shift and change all the time.
I would hate that boundary. I think that would be stupid.
Okay, that's how you feel, but people have their triggers. People have their things that work for them, and that's why. And just like you might have one where that person, or I might feel like this is dumb, but at the same time,
I would just make boundaries just to make boundaries. Just be like, before you open up the fridge, you gotta call me. So
this is TJ struggles with boundaries. He doesn't think that he has to respect them, and I think that's what it comes down to.
I do have to respect boundaries. I get some of that, but I'm just saying, like, knocking on. First of all, I'm not coming inside the bathroom if you're in there just to come in there. So if I'm coming in there because I need something. But I'm not. I don't feel I should have to knock.
Okay, so what's a boundary that you feel like is a reasonable, logical boundary that a person in a relationship might set?
When you come home late at night, can you be quiet? That's a boundary. It's a respectable one.
Okay.
That's a boundary that you've asked for me.
I have, and you at first didn't. You bulldozed over that too, because you were like, because TJ's argument was like, well, you can go back to sleep even if I wake you up. You fall back to sleep easily. I used to come in like drunk,
and I used to be like, let me fuck with Dani. Because you could go back to sleep. And then you were in your feelings. So I was like, all right, I gotta not be who I am for her.
Not see, but you're still that's
adhering
passive aggressive.
That's adhering to the boundary.
It is, but still, you're saying it like not. You're still saying it like, well, I have to stifle who I am in order to respect this boundary, as opposed to saying like, that was rude of me. Let me stop doing that.
Is it rude though?
Yes. How is it not rude to come in drunk and wake somebody up?
You weren't really up though.
Okay, to disturb someone's sleep. Off the strength of the fact you're like, well, she falls back to sleep easily. But mind you, y'all.
I mean, that was the logic.
I was the same.
I'm like, let me fuck with her.
This is the same.
I missed her. Let me fuck with her.
Talk to me in the morning.
I don't want to talk to you in the morning.
Okay, and mind you, this y'all, this is the same person who didn't. I had to start getting ready in like the other bathroom for work because the sound of me.
That was like 7 years ago.
Okay, and so was this part of me. You coming in drunk. This was a long time ago too. You don't do that anymore.
All right then.
So we're doing blasts from the past.
That's cool.
So he would be like, oh, I would disturb him when he was sleeping in the morning. You're talking about like, oh, the sounds of like my phone alarm going off or me brushing my teeth or flushing the toilet.
That was also when I was working 12 to 8. So I was working later. And unlike you, if I'm up, I'm up. Now, go ahead, wake me up. I can go back to sleep. I have a daughter. She wakes me up.
All the time.
All the time. So fuck it. You just get as much sleep as you possibly can in life.
You do see how like the hypocrisy in that
life.
that moment in time for us.
That's life.
It was okay for you to actively engage in waking me up or disturbing me sleep.
On the weekends.
But me, the sounds of me getting ready for work, if I woke you up, it was like World War III. But I set a boundary and I'm like, you need to stop doing this. And you respected it. And right, so that was my boundaries. Tip. It's okay to set boundaries at times.
My tip.
Let me hear it.
The better tip.
Of course.
Listen. Put away the phones. Turn off the TVs. Take out a book. Read together. That's simple.
That's a very good tip.
Oh, it's the best tip.
Of all the tips that have been given.
No, just of this conversation.
So maybe you should start giving tips too, because I always give a tip.
I was just going to say that. Maybe we can do,
tip for tat.
Yeah, we could battle who tip is better.
Okay. So, I'm going to still support mine. So, listeners.
We don't got to tell them in that.
We're not going to have a vote.
Team TJ, Team Dani.
I mean, the show is called Lovers Quarrel, so we can see who wins the quarrel.
Go ahead. All right.
So, if you believe, under our, when we post this episode, if you believe that the better tip was boundaries, put hashtag boundaries. And if you believe the better tip was read together, put hashtag read. Okay? Or do you want to do Team TJ, Team Dani on that too?
I feel like you should put like LQ.
LQ what?
Boundaries, LQ.
Okay, so
that way we know it's for us.
Okay. If you agree with me that the boundaries tip was the more beneficial tip this week, put hashtag LQ boundaries. If you believe it was reading, put hashtag LQ reading. All right? But I do...
LQ reading.
LQ read?
LQ reading. Go ahead.
Okay. Hashtag LQ reading or hashtag LQ boundaries.
At the end of the day, like I always say, social media is the devil. So if you put your phone away, you won't have to be tempted by the devil. Mm-hmm. Turn off television. We gotta get back to reading.
So you're saying like
a lot of people can't read anyway, and that's because they don't read. So
this is true.
This is going to give you the opportunity to read.
Practice them sight words, y'all.
You and your bae, y'all can pick a book together.
That was gonna be my question for you.
Because
like you and I right now are reading two separate books, but
well, that's because you read the book without me, because that's what you do. So again, I'm out here giving tips, y'all. Make sure that you and your partner can find a book that y'all want to read together. Make sure your partner doesn't leave you, because that's the reason why we don't watch a lot of the same TV together. And I stopped waiting for her, because I'll wait for her, but she don't wait for me, as you just heard. But anyway, grab a book.
I wish I could see my face.
Grab a book. Choose some time. And then you can go ahead and read. So,
So like we should like book club it, like get
yeah.
So like we should read to each other or read like the same book together and like discuss either or.
No, I was thinking more like you get into bed or on the couch and you just read. Someone reads out loud.
Read aloud.
Or you can, one day someone reads this, one day this person read, next day this person read.
I did that with when I was pregnant. I would read you what to expect when you're expecting.
You would read me?
I would read it to you. Sometimes you would read too, actually.
I did.
You're right. I forgot.
Exactly. That's why it's my tip. That's why it's a great tip.
Oh my god.
So, and with that said, I yield.
Thank you so very much.
Oh, anytime.
Well, at this point in the show, it's been a while, but we have a letter.
We do. I'm going to read it today.
Take it away. I'm listening.
Hi, Dani and TJ.
Hi.
I love the show. Heard you guys on Horrible Decisions. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Weezy.
Hey, guys.
And immediately subscribe to your podcast. I didn't start catching up on everything I missed until a few weeks ago, but I am hooked. I just got finished listening to episode 19, Going in Circles, and decided to share my opinion on the quarrel of the week. Now, for those listening, this email came out a few weeks back.
Yeah.
We've had so many guests, and we didn't really get a chance to come back to it. So that's why we're reading it. But go ahead. First, I'll say that while I appreciate Mandy and Weezy because I definitely lived my best whole life before I met my husband 12 years ago, but as a married woman, I really respect you guys for being a positive black married couple who are happy in love and make time once a week to get together and share your lives with others. I love Dani's sound effects.
Thank you.
I think it's very creative and unique. So TJ, don't you dare change it to something different.
Thank you.
I thought your perspectives on the quarrel of the week were interesting. I think most men would say once a week is not enough sex for them. But I think men and women play such different roles in both their professional lives and their home lives. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before, but I think it's so accurate. So,
and the quarrel of the week, that episode was about how often
sex
we should have.
If I'm not mistaken. But basically, she sends a image. So it says, I'm going to bed. Husband goes to bed. But then wife picks up toys in the living room, put away dishes in the kitchen, add soap to the dishwasher and get it started. So it'll be ready in the morning. Lock the back door, pick up toys by the back door, clean the glass on the back door, pack lunches, so on and so forth. So basically what it's trying to say is that the wife has more duties than the husband. So it continues. My husband and I are 37 and 36 respectively. I have a 16-year-old son from a previous relationship. We both work full-time jobs, and he also recently started a part-time job as well. I work what TJ referred to as a 9-to-5 job, but I start my day at 7 a.m. I'm a retail store manager, and unfortunately, I rarely leave my job before 6 p.m. I drive 45 minutes to work as well, so that adds on the length of my day. I love having sex with my husband, but some nights by the time we make it to bed together, I'm exhausted. My husband works an 8 to 4 job and then 5 to 9 at his part-time job. Both his jobs are less than 15 minutes from home. While he would probably agree with TJ and wants to have sex 3 to 4 times a week, some nights he's the one that's too tired from his day. Some weeks we won't have sex at all. Some we only have sex once, and some weeks we get lucky and get 3 or 4 times in. There is no cookie cutter answer, but I don't think once a week average is unreasonable. TJ, you can't say working a full-time job, going to school, and having a baby that you legitimately have the energy for 4 times a week, every week to have sex. Also, I've never seen I think I love my wife, but I think that people will use any excuse that can come up with to cheat, if that's what they want to do. You can't say that you cheat on your significant other if you think you're not getting as much sex as you want, but in the same breath claim to love them. That doesn't even make any sense. As someone who has cheated on my partner emotionally, not physically, my reasons were entirely selfish and self-serving. My husband and I were going through a rough time. Instead of communicating my issues to him and giving him the opportunity to fix them, I started a relationship with someone to escape everything I was dealing with at home. That guy was not a better man than my husband. He didn't love me. We hadn't known each other very long, and he wasn't my best friend. But in getting to know him, that allowed me to mold myself into a different person. Someone who didn't have troubles, baggage, or insecurities. I was 1,000,000% wrong and can't place any fault on my husband for things he did or didn't do that could have caused me to cheat. I made that choice. Ultimately, my husband did find out what was going on, and we went to counseling. He forgave me, and we're back to being happily married. Anyways, thank you for taking the time to read my email. Can't wait to get caught up on the last 3 episodes. Hope you guys keep doing what you're doing. You've got a lover for the duration. Yours truly, A Lover's Opinion.
Well, thank you, A Lover's Opinion.
Yes. And I apologize for not reading this one sooner. But I'm kind of glad I did. I feel that given the time of the weeks to be able to reflect on this letter and kind of look myself in the mirror, it kind of allowed me to better reflect.
Okay.
My statements were my statements for that time, but I feel like that has changed.
How so?
And my understanding. Like I said, you was traveling a lot. You was being a fatty, as I like to call you.
Thotting and bopping.
Yeah, you was thotting and bopping.
You're such a hater.
But, having our daughter by myself, it was kind of like, damn, she does a lot, Mm-hmm. I think that we take for granted our partners sometimes.
Definitely.
And, you just have to grow. We go through funks. But, I do agree with our lover. It's never okay to cheat. It's never all right. It is a choice. And if you love somebody, that should overcome your selfish needs. So I do agree with that. And I truly appreciate the letter and the honesty and you being able to kind of reflect, and I think that's the biggest thing for this show and our platform is about the transparency, because there are other people out there who's going through the same issues that we're going through. And the only way we're going to grow is by talking about it, but the only way other people is going to grow is by them talking about their stuff,
Yeah,
it may be someone else who's going through what she just talked about.
Yeah.
And now, or they were about to engage in that. They were about to engage in an emotional affair. And now she sees that someone else had it, or he's seen someone else had it. And now they're like, oh shit, I don't have to do that. Or, oh shit, this is bad. So,
Well, I appreciate the letter too, because it, sometimes there's power and strength in numbers, because even though TJ kind of, like he said, your opinion has kind of changed based on some other experiences that you've had since we first had recorded that episode, as far as like my level of contribution to the household and why that might explain why like I am so exhausted, or by the time we get to bed at night, it's appreciated, because when I say strength in numbers, it's appreciated to sometimes hear from somebody who's like, I don't have no dog in that fight, but I can say that like it is a lot. It can be a lot for a woman. It can be a lot for or a person in a relationship, because sometimes the roles, she was on the other foot, and maybe it's the man that's doing a lot of the work and he's not got the energy, by the time he gets to bed at night, and people vary. And sometimes it's easy, to, when your partner is saying it, when your friend is saying it, when your family member is saying it, it's like, oh, I don't want to hear they're saying it, because that's just how they feel. But then when you hear it from somebody else, somebody who has no, again, was more unbiased, it's like, oh damn, well, I guess maybe there is some truth to what they're saying. So I appreciate it, because it's not always easy to try to explain to TJ like the levels of exhaustion that I felt when I'm working, when coming home with Tatum and with grad school and grades and all that stuff like that, and then trying to justify that. Now, don't get me wrong, there are definitely moments where I have not necessarily like capitalized on moments where we could have done things, and that's my fault. And then also there's like the other times where like the 20 minutes before I fall asleep is like the first time during the day where I get to like decompress. So I understand, and there's more sides to it, and I'm not totally innocent in this situation. And more than anything, I am glad though that you, as my husband, like, are growing and learning and understanding where I come from, because that means more to me than you ever will realize.
I don't think it's ever been about the frequency as much as the attempt, if that makes any sense.
So like, you would feel better if even if you were tired, like if I had tried to initiate something and you're like, no, I'm okay, but you're like, at least she tried, or what do you mean?
Yeah, or if something like, I said 3 to 4 times, but I mean, as you get older, like she said, once a week, that may be it. Mm-hmm. Like if we're busy, but there are times that, again, you're doing other things, like you said, you're not capitalizing on the time. So that's when it's like an issue, because mm-hmm. if you could be doing other things, like if you're saying you're tired but you're on social media, well, you're not really that, and this is just my opinion. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not really that tired.
And I say sometimes I'm not, and sometimes, sometimes it's like
everything's a case by case basis.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm on social media. I'm scrolling through my timeline for 15 minutes, and then I'm like, I'm gone. Like, it's just because that's the moment, that's the small increment of time I have for myself to just kind of like escape everything else for a minute. But ultimately, like you said, and like our lover said, it ebbs and flows. It goes, because when it's me and you are going out of town, it's a school, during the school year, it's a school night, I got a paper due, you've got stuff going on with your fraternity, or when you were still in school, and you've got stuff, discussion board posts, and then on top of everything else, like, we have Tatum. Yeah, it's gonna be really hard. Like, one time a week, maybe all we can get in, but then like you got times where like we were just on vacation, and full transparency, we got it in a lot, I think, anyway. So it's because we had things that were off of our plates for the time temporarily, so that way we were able to focus on each other.
100%.
And I think that's why it's fair.
Yeah, no, 100%. But kind of going back to what I was saying, the attempt. Mm-hmm. If you send a text message saying, listen, this week is really busy, but Saturday, I got you, then at least I know, okay, cool, I'm going to have to thug it out this week.
Something to look forward to.
It's all about the attempt for me. That's the biggest thing. If you attempt, then at least I can feel like there's a try. But
and if you empathize with you're right, and then on the flip, like if you empathize with the amount of things going on during the week, then that may, and you're trying to alleviate that stress, or you're trying to support, then that makes it all the more like, damn, I really want to like make sure I give it to him. I make time for him when my plate is cleared a little bit on the weekend, because he's there for me so much, and he's so understanding during the week. So
got it.
Thank you, lover.
Thank you. We appreciate that. And to the husbands out there, just make sure that you, make sure that you are communicating with your wife, and, make sure that you are attempting to help her with the little things, If you see the dishes, do those, or, pick a night that you cook, or, pick up the toys, I think a lot of times as husbands or just as men, we take advantage, but that's not really what it is. we get comfortable with she got it. Mm-hmm. And it could be vice versa, but I'm just speaking from my point of view. We get comfortable with she got it, you know. She's going to take care of Tatum, so I can do whatever. But, you know, when they're gone and you have to do it, it's like, oh, shit, this is a lot. Like, this, it's not as simple as she makes it look. It's not as easy as she makes it look, you know. And I think once you see that, once you kind of peep that and go through that, you can appreciate your woman more. You can appreciate the things that they do for you more, because it's like she makes it look easy, but she's dog shit tired because she's doing it all by herself. So
I appreciate that, baby.
You're welcome, love.
It makes me love you even more.
Now she loves me anymore.
This nigga here, I can't stand you. You just can't take a compliment.
Nah, I appreciate it, kid.
Like, it means a lot to hear that, because being a mom can be a thankless job a lot of days, and it's not easy, but
100%.
We do it, and because we love our children, and to be recognized for it is not something we need all the time, but it's appreciated when it comes out, and you know, when it shifts your thinking, that's even better.
It does. Come on, get some tonight.
Yep.
Oh shit.
That's why we got to hurry up and wrap up this episode. Make sure Tatum don't wake up.
Oh shit. Make it like tonight. Anyway.
He's like, this has been another episode of Lovers Quarrel.
Cut.
Exactly.
It's over.
Bye. We fuss. We fight. We fuck.
Anyway. It's that special time of the show where we're going to quarrel. But before we do that, let's hear a message from our sponsor.
Hey friend, it's time for you to ditch those workout gloves and get the grip and wrist support you deserve. What do you suggest? You need to get the Gainz Load and Lock grips by Gainz Sports Gear. They are more durable than gloves, have a non-slip grip pad that provides grip support and added wrist support unlike your traditional workout gloves, and will protect your hands from calluses. Do they come in different colors? Not only do they come in different colors, but they are available for men and women. Do yourself a favor, go to GainSportsGear.com. And remember, a better grip equals a better lift. Embrace the process.
You should be recording this. You are? This is what I deal with all the time. This nigga be humming, singing.
What song is that? That's a Dave Hollister song.
I don't know what song that is.
I can't remember the name of the song.
Dave Hollister. Oh, I wasn't really a big Dave Hollister fan.
The song is hold on.
I'm alone.
One Woman Man. See, that was my old.
Actually, okay. Well, thank you.
A One Woman Man, lady.
I saw him perform when he was at Essence.
Oh.
Because he came out with Blackstreet, because it was a Teddy guy. I mean, Teddy Riley. Like,
but you don't know that humming.
That's because you can't sing.
Anyway, you're a hater, yeah. I'm ready to quarrel.
Let me get
Let's
ready.
hear this shit.
Especially for our lover who likes my sound effects and my little snippets of songs. So this is in dedication to.
She may not like the snippets of the songs, but anyway, go ahead.
Well, I'll do both. This is dedicated to you and our time in Cancun, because we heard the song a lot.
What song?
You whack, you twisted, your girl's a hoe, you broke, the kid ain't yours, and everybody know your own man say you stupid. You be like, so, I love my baby mother, I never let it go.
It did play that a lot. DMX, that song was like...
People were like, y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
The white people was going crazy.
That song, they did play Drake, well, not as much as that song.
They played Drake, and they played Cardi B.
They did play Cardi B.
Like that. They love that.
Yeah.
But anyway... And what's the sound effect?
Let's see. What's the? I can't think of it. The Super Saiyan sound. I don't know.
Super Saiyan sound. What is a Super Saiyan?
I don't know. Like,
Super Saiyan?
Is that how it's pronounced? I thought it was Cyan.
No. Yeah, Super Saiyan. You can't say it.
It's time to fight.
Anyway, that was terrible.
You're still a hater. That's okay.
I think going forward, you should just let me. I can start humming.
No, nobody wants to hear that shit.
That shit was fire.
It wasn't. Y'all understand. TJ walks around and he gets it honestly, but he's always got a song in his heart and on his brain, and he will just break into song at any given point in time. He does that randomly, and he will whistle randomly, and he whistles really loud.
Anyway, we're not going to do this topic. What are we quarreling about?
So
from our lover, this was sent in. So what is it?
This lover suggested the topic of loyalty. So recently, Paul Pierce, and is he still in the NBA?
No.
Okay. Former NBA player stated that there is no more loyalty in the NBA, that guys no longer want to stay loyal to their franchise. So I want to take into consideration loyalty as far as relationships are concerned. Do you think that loyalty is underrated or overrated in relationships?
Thank you to our lover for that quarrel.
Yes.
First off, to answer Paul Pierce, then we can go into the topic because I love basketball.
Got it. Go ahead, rock out.
I think that the players don't need to be loyal to franchises because franchises aren't loyal to players. I think loyalty takes 100% from 50-50 or 100 whatever from both parties. And I think that's the biggest thing. We always cry when the players leave and do whatever, but we don't say nothing when the players get traded. Isaiah Thomas is like the perfect modern day caliber character. He literally
get bounced around, right?
He literally, he got bounced around. He found stardom with Boston. He played through injury.
The death of his sister.
Death of his sister, and then they traded him for a better player.
Wow. And
then, so he went from doing that. So what he should have done is done what Kawhi Leonard did. I'm not playing until I feel better. They dug Kawhi Leonard out because the Spurs medical staff said he was ready to play. He was able to play because they needed him to play. They have a better chance of him on the floor. And they dug Kawhi Leonard, but no one dogged Boston for saying, "Yo, y'all should have sat him down." He should have not been playing when his sister passed away. He should have not been playing because he has that injury. And now, a guy who could have been a max player has to take the minimum salary. He has to prove himself again.
Yeah.
So
didn't he lose a tooth too?
I don't know.
Sorry, I just feel like
that has anything to do with.
I just think that it just adds to his injuries, things like that. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can still play basketball with a missing tooth, though.
Okay, you're right.
We know that she doesn't watch sports, guys. Anyway, so for that on that aspect, I understand what Paul Pierce is trying to say, but he also was traded. He didn't stay with Boston Celtics all his career. Only few guys have done that.
Kobe.
And I think Dirk is going to be one.
Okay.
Tim Duncan. But not many people stay with the same franchise because most franchises don't have loyalty. I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. So on the relationship aspect, do we think is loyalty overrated or underrated, right?
Correct.
I think it can be overrated sometimes.
How so?
Because to be loyal, and it's just all relationships, I'm not just talking about, you can be loyal to a friend and a friend is not loyal to you. So, I think you should be loyal 100%, but there's a lot of people that I feel like I'm super loyal to, and I would go to the moon and back for, but they wouldn't do it for me. And I think that that hardens people, you know, and makes people say fuck being loyal. There's no loyalty. So
I think it could be kind of underrated, honestly. Like, we live in a world where, like, everybody is so self-serving. Like, it's always about, what can I do in order to get to the next level? Who can I step on? Who can I, I have no problems leaving people behind. And I'm not saying that you have to take everybody with you. I'm not saying that it has to be blind loyalty. Like, this person is dogging me out, or they did one good thing for me 12 years ago, and now I owe them for the rest of my life. But at the same time, I feel like people don't take into consideration, like, the benefits that come along with, like, being loyal or riding for somebody who has proven themselves to you.
But that's why I feel like it's overrated, because it's like everyone preaches loyalty, gotta be loyal, but not everybody's loyal.
That to me says why it's underrated, because it's like, people might even talk a good game, but they don't really show that or demonstrate that same loyalty that they might speak on. Nobody in this world gets to wherever they want to, gets where they're going by themselves. You have some type of help
100%
along the way, and so to nod your head, to tip your hat to the people that helped you along the way, to the people that are there for you, to the people that have done for you, is not a bad thing. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you gullible or anything like that. And then also too, like, when times get tough, like, it shows more character to remain loyal to people in the proper situations. I'm not talking about, like, crime and whatever stuff like that, but I'm saying, like,
so you're saying that loyalty is underrated.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't adhere.
Aren't loyal.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't loyal. Like,
I'm saying that it's overrated because
people aren't loyal.
Because they're not.
So, like, you feel like people should kind of switch over. Like, well, if you're not loyal to me, I'm not going to be loyal to you. And I think I'm saying, for those people who aren't loyal, like, you need to start being loyal. I'm
saying that people use the term loyal or the term of having loyalty for their own selfish needs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not reciprocated.
Okay.
Like, I'm gonna go cheat on my significant other, but you're my guy, so you need to be loyal to me. You know what I mean? I need you here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, you're wrong there.
Yeah. So you feel like people.
I feel like people use the word loyal
all loosey goosey.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I feel like it's overrated. I feel like at the end of the day, it doesn't take much to check on people. It doesn't take much to be supportive. It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
My line brother released a song, right?
Hey, Jamal.
What's going on, Jamal? And I told him at first I did not like it. I thought the song was trash. And then I heard it again,
mm-hmm.
and I liked it more. And then I heard it again, and I liked it more. And now I really fuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, I appreciate you. I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah.
Like, that's loyal.
Mm-hmm.
I could have done what other people do and been like, oh, it's the greatest song I've ever heard. But people can't grow that way. You got to be honest.
You're right. And that's
and I think that's the biggest thing that we're missing in a world that, people take this loyalty thing and they abuse it.
Mm-hmm.
And use it for their own selfish wins. Has nothing to do with anything else. People aren't being loyal to be loyal. They're being loyal because they want a gain from the loyalty.
So they want something to come from
100%.
Yeah.
I see somebody rocking, I'm gonna start fucking with them now so that way they can put me on.
Yeah.
That's not true loyalty. True loyalty is, you got your shit over there, I'm proud of you.
Yeah. I'm not looking for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, and I agree with what you're saying. I just think though that I feel like it also can be underrated in the sense that, like, it is not a value that a lot of people, and I think maybe we're kind of arguing different sides of the same coin. Like, people are not people are not making it a priority anymore. People are not, there is something to loyalty, because when you don't have anything else in the world, or have anyone else in the world, though, those who are loyal to you, even when there's nothing to be gained from it, says a lot about a person's character. So the fact that more people are being self-serving in this day and age, people are like, misusing the term and abusing the term loyalty, it ends up giving it kind of like a bad name, where really it's something that should be given a lot more attention, but in the most healthy manner, I guess I should say. So that's why I think it's underrated, because more people could stand to be loyal in the truest sense of the term.
I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Look at us.
I think that we are. I think we are arguing the same point, but just using it in different ways.
As I said, like different sides of the same coin, but that's all right though, because you know what? We bringing different perspectives out.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, loyalty is loyalty. It takes two parties.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, and once you can see that someone's not being loyal to you, best thing you can do is be loyal to yourself.
This is true. That is a thing.
First off, you should always be loyal to yourself. You should always be loyal to who you are. But once you see that shit isn't going 50-50, 100, whatever percentage people do,
mm-hmm.
then you got to do what's best for yourself.
Sometimes you have to cut ties.
Like I always say, from the competitive side of me, Kevin Durant's decision is the worst decision ever.
Mm-hmm.
Competitively.
Got it.
But for Kevin Durant, that's the best decision for him, and he's able to make that choice.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we care so much about what people are doing for their own self-happiness,
mm-hmm.
and we need to look in the mirror and say, why do I care so much about what everybody else is doing?
Mm-hmm.
You need to have that self-happiness for yourself. You need to be loyal to yourself first, and then you can truly appreciate other people's happiness.
Yeah, and I think there's a difference between being loyal to yourself and loyal to your dreams and your ambitions or whatever, your pursuits, versus being selfish. There's a big difference between the two.
What do you mean?
Meaning, like you're saying, like sometimes people have to be loyal to themselves. And
I'm saying everybody should be loyal to themselves.
Yeah, and some people aren't.
Okay.
And so what I'm saying though is just that though, somebody could take what you're saying and misconstrue it or try to twist your words and say like, oh, but that's being selfish if I'm only thinking about myself first. And I'm like, no, there's a difference between being loyal to yourself versus being selfish.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Being loyal to yourself means just you know your worth.
Facts.
As opposed to, somebody taking advantage of you because
they know they can.
Know your worth.
Yeah.
So.
Well.
So, Lover, I appreciate that. I love the basketball reference.
Poor Isaiah.
Yeah, he'll bounce back, though.
Is he healthy now?
He said he is, so we'll see. Listen,
interesting season coming in.
All those teams out there, all those players, if you want a loyal franchise, come to LA.
Oh, my God.
The real LA.
And with that being said... we have concluded yet another episode of Lovers Quarrel. Man, I love doing this with you, babe.
I love doing it with you as well, man.
So
we fight, we bicker.
Yeah, y'all don't know. We be making
eye to eye.
Yeah.
But then we gotta come back on here and we gotta act like we love each other.
I know, because we be making crazy faces at each other sometimes.
Because we don't always be on the same page
at all. Sometimes,
but it works out.
It does.
And I wouldn't want to do this with anybody else.
Samesies.
Unless it was Angela Bassett.
You know what? I'd take her too. Slide you right on out. Put her right here. Mother of Wakanda. Queen of Wakanda. So, as always, you guys, if you want to talk to us, follow us, send us DMs, emails, whatever. Here's our rundown. Hit us up on Instagram at Lovers Quarrel Show. Follow us there. We're also on Twitter at Lovers Quarrel 7. And of course, feedback, questions, quarrels, whatever, email us at loversquarrelshow@gmail.com. We are always in our inboxes and always responding, so please hit us up. Don't forget to like, share, follow, tag, and give us reviews on iTunes or anywhere platform because we're found everywhere. Yeah, you know, do your thing. Did I miss anything? I'm good. I think I got everything.
You asked me a question and then answered your question, so
I did. That's the thing.
What's the point of asking a question?
It's just something that people do.
Well, let's just round this. Let's close this thing.
Yes, let's do that. So we thank you as always for listening. If this is your first time, if this is your 50th time, we appreciate you.
I don't think we've had 50 shows. But...
Somebody could have listened several times to one episode.
Okay.
That's what I reasoned in my head.
Okay.
Thank you as always.
Can't get to see what I did with. And on that note,
another episode of Lovers Quarrel in the bag, and as always, I'm your girl Dani.
I'm your guy TJ.
And as always,
ambassador of the new cool. Something, a nice little new tag I'm gonna start throwing out there. Shout out to my man Jay Hill.
And as always, again, we fuss,
we fight,
but we love. Bye.
Farewell, y'all. You can leave. Get the fuck out.
Yo, you're not gonna keep ending episodes like this, disrespecting me.
You can leave.
You're not gonna keep ending episodes like this. Just because you hit play and pause and shit doesn't mean that you get to control it.
You gotta start learning how to be able to do this, and then you'll be able to.
I can learn.
All right.
I'm a quick learner.
Okay. Get the fuck out.